hub of every Western town was the sound of the blacksmith, making every nail that built the American West. The golden age of American blacksmithing was the early 19th century, when tools and nails were all handmade. Let's meet Paul Diefendorfer, the local resident blacksmith of the Cave Creek Museum.
So back in the day, if you needed anything made out of metal, you went to the blacksmith. So today I'm going to show you how they used to make nails. So this is a coal forge. This here is a blower. It's blowing air up through the bottom, getting oxygen to the coal. Coal, they used to use charcoal, but this is a rock out of the ground, and it burns nice and hot. There's a lot of energy in it. And if depending on the speed I crank it, it can get up to about 2,500 degrees in there. That's a little too hot, so we're shooting about 2,000 degrees, what we like. The anvil here, this is a 140-pound anvil. And I don't know the exact history of this anvil, but it's an old English anvil, so it's well over 100 years old. And the anvil has a couple of basic parts: the horn of the anvil, the step, the body of it. This is the Pritchel hole and the Hardy hole here. The Pritchel hole is the round one, the Hardy hole is square. That holds tools. And the 1-1-10, that tells me that's a secret blacksmith language. That's 140 pounds. And I know this anvil is used in a machine shop because there's all sorts of gouge marks on it, where they would sharpen a chisel on the anvil, they'd quench it, harden up, and then they'd hit the side of the anvil with it. And if it gouged the anvil, that meant the chisel was good and hard. If it chisel bent, it means they had to start over again. Start to put a point on there. Put it back in the fire because it's getting kind of cold. You've heard the phrase wrought iron. Wrought iron is actually a product. Modern steels they make in a big cauldron basically, and they boil it, and all the silicas float to the top, and they scrape it off. Wrought iron was made like bread dough. They would take a big mass of bog iron and they would beat it on the anvil, hence the term wrought. And when you look at wrought iron, it actually has a grain in there and it splinters. That's also why nails, when they were bent over, would splinter and break. So when you have a wrought iron fence, you really don't. You have a boring, mild steel fence. Now, if a blacksmith was set up to make nails and that's all they made, they could average a nail a minute if they had a good crew. I'm gonna go a little slower than that. All right. So not only did they make nails, but anything out of metal that you needed. Picks, hammers, shovels, scissors. If it was made out of metal, you went to the blacksmith. They didn't have hardware stores. If anything broke, you took it to the blacksmith. They would fix it. And before they discovered coal, blacksmiths just used to use wood. So now that we've got a point on the nail, we have to put a head on it. First part of making heads, we got to cut most of the nail off. We'll heat it back up one more time. Put a head on that nail. This is a nail header, just a piece of metal with a tapered square hole in it. There we go. There's the nail, and it works. If you've heard the phrase, dead as a doornail, what does that mean? Well, when they made doors, they would take the nail and they'd pound it all the way through the door and they'd bend it over. That bending it over would cause the nail to fracture, and then it was a dead nail. So dead as a doornail means something that was useful, but now it's no longer usable. Well, thanks for visiting the Cave Creek Museum, and don't forget to subscribe, because if you don't, you're getting coal in your stocking.